Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So this week I'm going to be showing you how to take care of your leather products. And if you bought any leather products from me at Smoke and Mirrors, you can be guaranteed that they're made out of cowhide, vegetable tanned leather. And it's important to know exactly what type of leather that your products are made of, because everything is going to be taken care of differently. At Smoke and Mirrors, I hand make all of my leather accessories using only vegetable tanned cowhide leather, because it's the most luxurious and most durable leather while being extremely eco-friendly. So it's important to know that anything you buy at Smoke and Mirrors is made out of this exact type of leather, and that any of this aftercare instructions is perfect for all of my products. But this doesn't mean that you can use this on any leather product. So if you bought a designer handbag that says it's made out of leather, you're going to want to check to make sure what type of leather it is. A lot of times designer handbags are made out of cheaper quality leather, so it's going to require different care, and you're just going to want to check in with what it is. So to start off, I have this purse here, which is an original design from Tandy Leather Company. They make pre-made kits that are really easy to assemble together and make on your own, which is good practice before you start designing your own leather work. I've been using this purse as my everyday bag so I can see how it will really age with time. How the sun, the rain, the snow, dust, going to the beach, everything. All of this stuff ages a bag, and it's going to age differently if you take care of it and clean it every single week, every month, every 6 months, or once a year. Personally, I wanted this bag to look pretty aged and look like it's lived its own life. All the scratches and the tan lines, any blemishes, I think look really nice in a style like this. So I haven't taken care of it a single time yet, and today's going to be the first day that I really go in and clean it and make sure it's taken care of. Even if you want your bags to look rugged and worn in, it's still important to take care of them and give them the proper treatment that they need. Otherwise, they're going to crack and kind of fall apart. So there's a fine line between letting it look rugged and worn and still taking care of it. I would say minimum you want to take care of it at least once a year. Really, 6 months is probably the best. But with no more talking, let's get into it, and I'm going to show you how to take care of all of these different products, from purses to wallets, keychains, earrings, bracelets, and home decor. There's different ways to take care of all of them, and I'm going to show you now. Okay, so starting off with this purse, like I said, I've been using it every single day as my daily bag for 10 months. And this was mainly to see how it ages with time. So it's really interesting to see that overall it still looks great, but there are some areas where it's got some damage, or it just looks worn in, which I appreciate. For example, along the top, it has a whole bunch of really fine wrinkles that just come from, this is the area that is always being bent. So anywhere that leather is bent, it's going to form wrinkles faster. Kind of like when you have brand new Nikes and then you put a crease in the Nikes, it's the same idea. Overall, from the exterior of the bag, it looks really nicely tanned. Overall, it's just one color. But as you open the flap, you can see that this part is lighter, and this is more of the natural skin color before it's seen the sun. But since it's been in the sun so much, with the top part closed, this is how it was tanned. And then when you open it, you get to see the difference in color, which again, I think is cool. It also has some really small stains throughout it, like up here in the corners, just really small stains. And probably the most damaged part is the handle. So this area here is where it sits on my shoulder, and if I'm walking through the rain or snow or anything like that, it kind of adds to the damage, and since I haven't been taking care of it or treating it properly, it is pretty damaged. There's no going against that. But in the end, it still works really well, and it just looks like aged leather, so I like it. But all of this could have been avoided. The stains, the wrinkles, the damaged strap, all of that can easily be avoided if you just simply take care of the bag every week. And I'm going to show you how to do that now. So taking either a microfiber polishing rack or a paper towel, you just want to lightly get it damp. Using distilled water so there's no built-up fluoride or calcium or anything else weird in the water. Just very lightly damp so it's not going to get the bag soaking wet, but it is going to take off any of the dust or dirt that has built up on your bag over time. So this is basically just doing a really brief wash, because any layer of built up dust and dirt is going to damage the bag over time. Or any leather product for that matter. You really just don't want dirt and dust to be building up on leather. It's not good for it. So I'm going to keep going, just getting rid of anything on the exterior. It's important to make sure you really get every single surface in between every little nook and cranny, because the parts that have the smaller little bends and creases is usually where dirt likes to build up the most. But again, make sure that you're not going to get your bag soaking wet. You just need a little bit of water to get rid of any of that dirt. And this step you should be doing every week. Make sure that any dust and grime is just taken off of your leather goods every week. Will really help it age nicely in the long term. One more thing is that you do not want to get the inside of it. So the inside in this bag is just the natural leather from the inside, which is basically much less water resistant compared to the outside. So you don't want to ever really get any water or leather conditioner or any other products on the inside. This part is just naturally going to be fine, and you really don't need to clean it. So all of this is just for the outside of the bag. Now, the next product you're going to want to get is some kind of a beeswax conditioner. Using a microfiber polishing rag, I just take the smallest amount. Really, a little bit goes such a long way with this. You don't want to use too much. And now I'm just going to go over the entire bag. Rubbing it in circular motions. This way it's going to get spread evenly across the entire thing. Try to avoid getting it stuck in between the little lace or stuck into the designs. Anywhere that isn't super smooth, the beeswax conditioner is probably going to want to kind of clump into and get stuck in, but make sure that that doesn't happen. So what this leather conditioner does is it basically waterproofs the bag. That way, anytime you're going through rain or snow, the water isn't going to damage the leather, and it's basically just going to wick right off. The same with any dirt, dust, stains, things like that. This conditioner is really going to protect your leather from all of that. So normally, to take good care of your bag and make sure it's not going to get cracks, wrinkles, stains, anything like that, you should be using this leather conditioner anywhere between once a month, once every 3 months, or even once every 6 months. The main thing it depends on is how often you use the bag. So if it's a bag that you use every single day, I would recommend to take the leather conditioner to it once a month or once every 2 months, depending on how pristine you want the bag to look. If you want it to look perfect all the time, definitely do it once a month. But if you like that more rugged and worn-in look, doing it once every 3 months or even every 6 months, and it will still be perfectly fine. Like I said, this is the first time I've treated this bag, and I've been using it every single day for 10 months. So it's not going to ruin your bag if you don't do this, but it will help so much in making sure it doesn't age or get stains. You're not going to really see a huge difference in the color or the texture from using the beeswax conditioner, so don't just keep applying it until you see that it looks darker or saturated or something. Really, all you need is just very small amounts so that it covers the bag. And you can feel when it covers it versus when it's run out and you need to get a little bit more. So I always prefer to use really, really small amounts and then just keep adding more as needed, rather than getting way too much stuck on the bag. And even on the handle, you need to be careful with this type of handle at least, since the outside is the natural skin and the inside is the unfinished, just natural leather still. Do not get it on the unfinished natural side. This again is not waterproof. This is basically the inside of the cow's skin and it doesn't need to be moisturized. But the outside where the regular skin is, it does. So always make sure to properly take care of it on the exterior, but the interior of the leather really doesn't need anything. So really just make sure that you're getting all of these little indents and creases everywhere. Otherwise, it's going to leave some parts of your bag more susceptible to getting damaged or wrinkled faster than others. So basically, leather is just skin. It's skin that needs to be moisturized and taken care of. Now that we've cleaned it, gotten all the dust and dirt off of it, and applied the leather conditioner, it's now back in good condition where it can go outside in the rain and you don't have to worry about it being extra damaged. It's going to be water resistant again, cleaned, and ready to go. So really, just remember to take care of it as often or frequently as you want to, and as often as you think that you're going to want it to look good. If you want it more rugged looking, take care of it less. If you want it to look perfect and pristine all the time, then do this maybe once every few weeks or every month. It's also important that when you store your bag, wherever you keep it in your home, don't leave it in direct sunlight and don't leave it in a dark closet somewhere that it's not getting fresh air. It still needs to be able to breathe, otherwise it will get moldy, especially right after you take care of it, because now it needs to dry and it needs to absorb the moisture that we've given it. The next item I have is this wallet, which we're going to take care of in pretty much the same exact way. On this piece you can see that the edges are a little bit more worn. It has a few scratches around it, but really it's in great condition. It doesn't feel dry. You can feel when it has like wrinkles forming and it feels really, really dried out. This doesn't feel like that. But I am still going to take my microfiber rag, a little bit of water, and just clean the exterior, getting all of that dirt off of it. I'll open it up and lay it flat. So again, I'm just going on the outside of it, not doing anything with the interior, because it's just the outside that really needs to be taken care of. And not getting it soaking wet, just getting enough water on to clean off any of that dirt and dust that's built up on it. Do you see that? That little brown stuff? That's all the dirt that has come off of the wallet. So it's good that that's no longer on there. And I'm just going to spot test another little piece to make sure we've gotten it all off. So this this was the first time and this was the second time. There was a lot of dirt on the first time and just a little bit the second. But now that it's clean, I'm going to take the same rag where it's nice and dry, get a little bit of I use the Aussie brand of leather beeswax conditioner. I think it's a great brand and I really trust it. And then just getting a little bit on, rubbing in circular motions to really evenly spread it across the whole wallet. And again, I would really always prefer to use too little and have to apply more, rather than use too much and get it stuck on there and getting it soaked in it. You really don't want to overdo it with this. If you use too much, it can also damage the leather. Just enough to spread it evenly is perfect. So, the outside is completely taken care of. And then if we take a look at the inside, this is all lining leather. This is a different type of leather that does not need to be taken care of. It's nice and smooth and shiny, and it really doesn't age that much. And again, it just doesn't need to be treated. The only part that you have to worry about when treating your leather and caring for it is usually the exterior. So now I'm going to leave this out to dry somewhere that's not in direct sunlight, somewhere that it can just dry and not get soaked in moisture and get moldy. Next up, I have some beverage coasters. So for these beverage coasters, you can really tell which one I've used the most. And you're going to want to take care of these depending on how often you use them. So if you use them every single day, like this one, you're going to want to clean it and take care of it more frequently than if you just use it for special occasions. But again, it's the same principle, just taking a small amount of water to clean off any dirt. And if you use too much water, just take the dry part of the rag and take that off. You don't want to let the water sit on and soak in. And then again, just taking a very small amount of the conditioner and applying it in circles over the whole thing. It's the same idea with this, you just want to be doing the top part because that is the treated side of the leather, the exterior of the cow skin, which is what needs the moisture. And then the bottom side is the underneath, which is the inside of the cow skin. So think of it as if you're moisturizing your own skin. You wouldn't want to moisturize the inside of your skin, just the outside. So that's really the important part, is just the top. The bottom shouldn't need any treatment at all. And what this leather conditioner does is not only does it make it water resistant in general, but it's also adding moisture to the skin, or to the leather. What this leather conditioner does is not only make it water resistant since it's a beeswax, but it's also adding moisture into the leather. Since leather is skin, it's always going to need to be moisturized somewhat regularly, just to make sure that it's not going to get wrinkles and cracks and damage. So, you can see the difference between the treated 3 and the 3 that I haven't used or treated just now. But these 3 will dry and then they will end up looking brand new just like these again. So next up I have 3 different types of keychains, and they're all going to be taken care of differently since they are all using different types of leather. This one I have available on my website using bison skin leather, and this one is just a different type of leather that really doesn't need treatment. So this one actually, you're not going to need to take care of it at all. Do not use this on the bison vegetable tanned leather. It does not need it. The other 2 keychains I have available are using vegetable tanned cowhide leather, which is the same as the purse and the wallet I showed you. And these are going to be using the same technique to clean and care for them. So with this keychain, The top part is the natural skin, and then the bottom is the inside. So again, we're just going to be taking care of the top on this. But with this keychain, since it's braided together into itself, it's a little bit more complicated. You can see where it alternates between being the outside, the smooth part of the skin, to the inside, the rougher part, back to the outside and the inside and the outside. So with this one, you're going to be a little bit more careful on how to take care of it. So using a damp rag, I'm going to get the whole thing a little bit wet just to clean it. Really, for this type, it's best just to use more of a dry, hardly wet at all rag. That way you're not going to be damaging the inside part of the leather, but it still does need to be cleaned. And then using just the smallest amount of the conditioner, I'm going to start on the bottom, rubbing it in on the exterior part of the leather, skipping the next piece since it's the inside, and then going up into the next part. So still, I really just want to be taking care of the exterior part of the leather and not the inside. The inside should never be treated with beeswax. And one more thing you want to take care of when treating something like this that has a lot of different surfaces is making sure the beeswax doesn't get stuck in between the holes here and just getting lodged in there and causing a buildup. Part of this again is really just using only a small amount. Don't use too much. And that's all set. So now that has been waterproofed again and moisturized so that it's going to have less wrinkles over time. With the keychains, it's really up to you how often you want to take care of them, but especially with one like this, since it has so many bends and twists in it, I would prefer to take care of it a little bit more frequently than not. So maybe once a month or every 2 months is good for something like this. Then finally we have a bracelet and some earrings. I chose this bracelet as an example because it's similar to that last keychain where it's been woven into each other and it has a lot of different surfaces. But if you really look, all of the part on the top is the exterior part of the leather. So that makes it a little bit easier since all of this is going to want to have the same beeswax treatment, and then the inside is just the interior of the leather. So the inside is where it's not going to want to be treated. And when you're looking at the different leather products you have, whether it's from Smoke & Mirrors or another company, you can usually tell. You can see that one side is very smooth and it kind of feels like skin, whereas the other side is more rough and it feels like what could be the inside part of an animal. So now, one last time, I'm going to be taking some water just to clean all the dirt out of here. And then a small amount of beeswax. So the only reason that we can be putting this beeswax finish right on top after using the water is that there's so very little water on here at all that we're not trapping moisture in with this conditioner. So if you get the piece of leather of any type too wet and you can see it's very wet, you should wait for it to dry before using the conditioner. Otherwise you're just going to be trapping too much moisture into the leather. And really, that's not good either. So, making sure that I'm going into all of these little corners without getting a buildup stuck in there. It really doesn't take long to take care of your leather accessories. It just takes only a few minutes to make sure that you're treating them right and that they're going to be prevented from having any extra damage than they need. So now this bracelet is all set. Something like this, again, it always depends on how often you use it and how often you wear it that you want to take care of it. So finally finally, the last product is the leather earrings I have. And it's the same principle. On the inside you can see is the smooth part of the leather, and the back part is the rougher interior, which does not need to be treated. So just the inside. And really when it comes to earrings, you don't really have to treat any of them since they're never really being bent or moved. They're just hanging from your ears. So they're usually not getting so much damage anyways at all. The one part of the earring that might need to be taken care of though is the metal. Since my earrings all come with either stainless steel or sterling silver metal hooks, you get to choose, but the stainless steel usually does have a little bit more tarnish. So I include a microfiber polishing rag, that way you can just take the earrings and then wipe them with the polishing rag to get rid of any built up tarnish. This is completely natural and it happens with all types of metal, but it's nice to be able to get rid of any of that tarnish that was built up and get it back to looking pristine and brand new, nice and shiny. You might not even be able to tell the difference, but this one is the one that still needs to be cleaned, and this is the one that has just been brought back to new. So it's a small difference, but taking care of your leather accessories is always a good feeling, and making sure that it stays perfectly up to date. Thank you guys for watching this video to the end. I hope it helped you figure out how to clean and care for your leather accessories. And as always, thank you for shopping with Smoke and Mirrors. It's always been my goal to make leather products that will last a lifetime and that you'll love. So it means the world to me that so many of you buy my products, and hopefully this will help you take care of them so they will last your entire lifetime. Remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for new videos every single Monday. See you guys next week.